Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Professor Diaz, and today we're going to talk about mathematical functions in the Python programming language. So first we're going to talk about built-in functions, and then we'll talk about the math library and those imported functions. So first things first, I'm going to, sorry, I have to move my headphones a little bit off because it plays my voice to me, but like delayed, so it mixes me up a little bit. So I'm just trying to do that really quick. Yeah. So well, first let's establish some variables. So we'll set a equal to 2, b equal to 3, and c equal to 4. And we're keeping the numbers small because it's easier for us to determine the accuracy of the functions with these smaller numbers. It's going to be easier for us to verify a small number than it will be to verify a large number. And I want you to keep that in mind for later tests when you guys are doing your coding and making your own programs to keep your test numbers small when possible. Okay. And then we'll set d equal to, how about our first built-in function, minimum. And this takes the minimum of a series of numbers. So we're going to put our variables a, b, and c inside, and this should return the minimum value of a, b, and c. And I'm going to go ahead and print that. And print is a built-in function of Python too. So it's another one of those functions that you don't have to import. It's just already there, and they're usually defined by some sort of a word and parentheses, and then you put some information or no information in the parentheses. So that's what a function typically looks like. So I'm going to press the run button. And the minimum of A, B, and C is 2. And that's easily identifiable. We could do that visually, and that's why we keep those numbers small. Because for our tests, it's much easier for us to troubleshoot these on our own when we keep the numbers small. We'll save the big numbers for computers, huh? Okay. Likewise, you can go ahead and try max. And this will take the maximum of A, B, and C. So I'm going to press the run button. And the maximum of those three numbers is the number 4. Again, easily identifiable. Sorry for the barking in the background. It's the neighbor's dog. Okay. Next, I want to add a negative sign to a so that we can test a function called abs, and that's not for the muscle group or the thing that I'm never going to have. It is a shorthand for absolute value. So we'll go ahead and put the a inside. And this should give me the absolute value of a. When I run that, I get a value of 2. Okay. Let me make sure that I am just about done. And then round. So round is another built-in function of the Python programming language. And this will round, let's change this back to 2, and we'll say 2.1. It's going to round the variable a. So I'm going to press run. And 2.1 rounded is 2. It rounds down because the number after the decimal point is lower than 5. Okay. So that's it for the built-in Python programming math functions. Next, we're going to go over imported math functions. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the very top. And this is customary that any of the libraries that you import into your program, you put them at the top of your code. So we're going to write import math. So any library that I import, again, you want to keep that above the rest of your code. It usually goes up here. And you want to put a space where between this and the rest of your code. It's just the industry standard. Okay. So we're going to import math. And now we're going to get a series really interesting mathematical functions to use. So I pressed math, or I keyed in math, and then I put the dot operator, so math dot, and a series of different math functions comes up. So you can see all of these. And we're going to try out a few of them. We're going to try out the ones that show up on the quiz. So the first one that we're going to look at is GCD. So this is greatest common denominator. So we'll say greatest common denominator, greatest common denominator of 12 and 24. So I run it. Oh, and I didn't print anything. See, you and I make mistakes like that sometimes. So the greatest common denominator of 12 and 24 is 12. And you can use things like this to do your math homework. And I highly suggest it because, again, that's just practice that you can get on top of something you have to do anyway. Okay, so that's GCD. Next, I want to show you factorial. Yeah, you could use this to do your math homework or to check your math homework. Okay, and we're going to get, how about we do it to a variable? The factorial of 3. B. I'm going to press run. And that gives me 6. So that's the factorial of b, which is the number 3, which is 6. And it's important to note that it returns an integer. So this is 6, not 6.0. And that's going to be important for you guys later on when you're doing your own programs. It's going to be important for you to keep track of what different functions are returning to you. So that's factorial. Okay, let's try something different. SQRT, which stands for square root. So we want to get the square root of C, which is 4, because this is going to be easy to test. And I press the run button. 2.0 returns a float, 2.0. So that's how to do that. And last but not least, I wanted to show you something important, and I use it pretty often when I'm programming, and that's floor and seal. So first I'll go ahead and I'll try floor. And then I'll set this to 5 so that I can demonstrate it to you. So what the floor does is it like rounds down. Even if the number after the decimal is greater than or equal to 5, it will round down. So the result of this is going to be 2, and it returns an integer. So the floor of A, the floor of 2.5 is 2. And inversely, or well, similarly, seal takes the ceiling of a variable. So it rounds up. So even though 2.1, even though when we use the round function, it's going to give us 2, if we use the ceiling function, it's going to give us 3. So it takes whatever's after the decimal, and regardless of whether or not it's 5, if there's some value there, it's going to round up. Okay? If that's not clear, please let me know so I can explain it differently. I'm trying something new here, and I'm fairly new at this. So if I make mistakes or if I'm not doing something correctly, please let me know so that I can improve and become a better professor in the future. Thank you again. I know that's a lot of responsibility for you guys and you're just trying to learn, but I would really, really appreciate that. That's all I wanted to show you for now. Go ahead and practice those and do the quiz. And thank you so much for listening again. Ask questions if you need it, and have a wonderful day.